Hi, this is Theo from PuckerBlocks.com. Someone on YouTube asked me how to use watercolors to mix colors for redheads, characters with reddish or brown hair color. So today in this video tutorial, I'm going to explore that. For this tutorial, maybe I shouldn't call this a tutorial, this is more like an exploration for me because I seldom paint redheads. Here in Asia, people usually have black colored hair. Anyway, let me introduce you to some of the colors I will be using today. This is a Winsor & Newton Codman box set. Some of the colors have already been replaced. The colors I will be using will be this warm red. I'm not exactly sure what red it is, like Quin Red or Winsor Red, but this is a warm red. I'll be using Raw Sienna, Burnt Sienna, and Raw Umber. Now for this Daniel Smith box, I will be using New Gamboge, Quin Red, and transparent Pyro Orange. Before this video, I was mixing some colors to see the combinations that I can get. So this is some random sketches and color swatches. This red here is straight from the pan, so it's a very nice warm red. I will be mixing this red with the earth tones here, these three earth tones, to get some sort of a brown, a warm red color. Something like this. And for the darker shades, I'm going to add some blue to that. Alright, let's start with the demonstration. I have already prepared some quick sketches, colored some of the skin tone. By the way, the skin tone color is colored with yellow ochre and the warm red that you see just now. So I get this skin tone here. I have a separate video for mixing skin tones, so if you are interested, you might want to check that out. Before I start, let me show you some reference photos that I found on Google. So these are the colors that I will want to achieve. Some oranges, brown, maybe a bit reddish in color for some, and the darker tones here. This is the warm red from Winsor & Newton. Let me do a swatch here. This is pretty red. Let me add some Raw Sienna to make it a bit orange in color. This is pretty nice. So I'm just going to go in and color this first. I will add a bit more red just to get some variation, and then mix it with some burnt sienna here towards the bottom part. So you can see here, this is a bit darker. I think I used too much water for this part. So for this area here, I'm going to... So once you add burnt sienna, the color will start to turn a bit more brownish. If you want clean colors, just try and use the color straight from the pan without much mixing. So this is a pretty nice shade with some variations in the color. I'll wait for this to dry first. I think I have put a bit too much water, so I want to dry off some parts here in case there are going to be some ugly backgrounds later on. I don't want that to happen. Let's for this character here, I will use a bit more burnt sienna, maybe a bit more red as well to make it much stronger. So same thing, let me put my palette down so you can see it. I mix a bit more red and I want to mix a bit more burnt sienna. Let me put this by the side first. I might want some orange highlights later on, but the orange here is cadmium orange, so it's not transparent. Anyway, let me try this and see what will happen. This is not transparent, so when you go over your pen and ink line art, it's going to block it. So it's going to cover the line art. Can you see here? But still pretty nice, even though it's going to cover up. So usually I don't use cadmium colors for my pen and ink sketches. So when this is dry, I'm going to add in additional streaks on the hair. Let's see what will happen if I mix the warm red again, this time with raw umber. Oops. I get a color that's something like this. Raw umber looks like this, so this is a brownish tone. I think with the red color it gives a very nice shade. So let me go in again. Try not to use too much water this time. So my style is actually more illustration, like more cartoonish, I would say, because I prefer flat washes. Alright, let me switch over to this side here. For these three characters below, I want to use my Daniel Smith palette. So now I want to use New Gamboge, this color here. This is a very nice orange because this is transparent, so I can actually overlay this onto the line art. I want to try some Quin Red as well. So this is going to give me some sort of an orange. When I actually go over the lines, you can still see the lines show through. Now for this lady here, maybe I'll use a bit more red instead. A bit more Quin Red and some Burnt Sienna. Quin Red from Daniel Smith is not very warm, so you can see here the color is a bit purplish, a bit more pinkish, but it still looks quite nice, even though this is, I wouldn't say that this is really a redhead. Next I want to use transparent pyro orange, this color here. This is one of my favorite colors, my favorite warm red color. Let me show you how it looks like. Maybe add in a bit of a burnt sienna. Alright, let's wait for all of this to dry before I add in the second layer to give them the shadow. These are almost dry now. Let's take a look at the reference photo again. So some of these areas here are very dark. So I want to go in and mix in additional earth tones with the red and also some blues to darken the shadow areas. Let me add a bit of the blue. This is Phthalo Blue, a very strong color. Make sure you add it little by little because this is going to be quite dark. It's very strong. So this is a bit warmer and you can see that this is pretty brown. So the light source is coming from left to right, so I will darken the areas here. I might want to add in a bit more red and a bit more Raw Sienna. This part. How you choose to darken your colors really depends on your style. Some people like to darken it with the same color again just to make the color stronger. Some people would like to neutralize the color and then darken it. So you can see here that this part here is almost darkened with the same color, but this part here I try to neutralize the color with the earth tones. Maybe I need to go in with a darker tone later on, but doesn't matter. Let me try a much darker tone with this drawing here. So let me mix red with burnt sienna and a bit more blue. So this is much darker now. It's a bit challenging to get the fine strands of hair with this brush because it's a bit big. The transition is a bit strong. I mean, the contrast is a bit strong. So you might want to just add some colors bit by bit when you are mixing. Alright, and for this lady here, I will use more red and a bit of blue. So this is almost purplish in color. This will be quite interesting. I like this color. Let me do the small strands of hair here. And for this portion here, maybe I'll add some blue to it. Looks interesting. Let me try. Let's see what happens. So you can actually use more than one colors for mixing hair colors. That will give your character more visual interest when you use a lot more colors. For this lady here, just now I use Quin Red, so I want to use this is, I think, transparent brown oxide or permanent brown. The bottom part of the hair is going to be quite dark, so that's where I will try and add the shadow areas. And for this, I remember I used transparent pale orange. So I will still use transparent pale orange and maybe mix with some phthalo blue, just a bit of phthalo blue. This gives me a very dark color. Just a bit will do. So same thing, let me just go in and add the bottom strands of hair. I think this will do. Let's add the last layer of watercolor. For this lady here as well. Maybe a bit more blue. This is how they all look when dry. Some parts still need to be much darker, but I shall just leave this as it is. Anyway, you can mix a lot of different colors, different variations with just 3 colors. I use warm red, burnt sienna, and phthalo blue. So you can charge the colors as well if you want variations within the shapes. So this is the warm red. And I can just charge it with some burnt sienna. You can start to see the colors blending. And added some phthalo blue if you want the colors to be darker. So this is it. My style is a bit stylized. They are meant for quick sketches, so the colors, they work for me in this case. I'll post a scan image in the video description below so you can check out the high resolution scan. That's all for today's video. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comment section just right below. And if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, do so for more sketching tips, tutorials, art product reviews. See you in the next video. Bye.